A viewer recently asked if I had yet done a podcast on how a buyer's agent can collect 3% commission when the listing agent is offering less. Then, just last week, one of our offices was closing a transaction which involved a dispute as to how much commission was due the buyer's agent. I have addressed commission splits in the past and how they are governed, but maybe a refresher is due. The commission split offer on MLS is considered the binding contract between the listing broker and buyer broker. As such, it cannot be changed without a separate written agreement between the brokers amending that. If in MLS the listing agent is offering 2% commission, then the listing agent is only bound to pay 2% to the buyer's agent. And to change this, the listing agent and buyer's agent would have to sign a separate agreement amending this. The contract between the buyer and seller, which is only signed by buyer and seller, cannot change the commission offering between listing agent and buyer's agent. Therefore, no matter what is shown as commission split on the broker information page of the contract, the MLS offering controls. The Texas Real Estate Commission contract tries to make this clear when it states on the broker information page that it's information only, and it states disclosure. Pursuant to a previous separate agreement, such as an MLS offer or compensation or other agreement between brokers, listing broker has agreed to pay other broker a fee of X. This disclosure is for informational purposes only and does not change the previous agreement between brokers to pay or share a commission. Now, there are two ways a buyer's agent can collect 3% commission when the listing agent is offering less. The first is to get a separate written agreement from listing broker agreeing to amend that MLS offer to 3%. When I'm asked if there is a separate form for this, I suggest the agent ask their broker. This would not be a TREC form. It is something many brokerages have available to their agents. And perhaps the Texas Realtor Association may have something in their library for agents to use for this specific purpose. The second way a buyer's agent can collect 3% commission when the selling agent or listing agent is offering less is to enforce the buyer's representation agreement. There is a clause in the typical buyer representation agreement, unless it has been amended out, that states that the buyer's agent shall first seek their commission from the seller, and if the seller does not pay, then buyer is obligated. Through enforcement of this provision, the buyer's agent could collect the difference in what is being paid by listing agent and what is due under the buyer representation agreement. When I bring this up in my CE classes, the agents have a tendency to roll their eyes at me, claiming no one ever enforces that provision of the buyer's rep agreement. I understand that, but wonder why. Under the buyer's representation agreement, the buyer agrees your services are worth a certain commission. If it is not enforced, then in my opinion, it's the buyer's agent who made a choice to discount his or her services. Please do not mistake your duty to place your client's interests first as a duty to take less than you agreed to when you agreed to represent that buyer. When you provide the services, you are due the amount you bargained for. In this dispute one of my offices had this week, page 9 of the contract disclosed that the listing agent would pay the other broker 3%. However, MLS offered 2.5%. We received a commission breakdown from the buyer's agent throwing 3% and prepared the closing statement accordingly because all we have is the contract to go by. Fortunately, the listing agent reviewed the statement before closing and told us of the MLS offering. Please remember, title companies do not have access to MLS, so oftentimes it is only the contract that gives us what the commission is. It is incumbent on the listing agent to make the title company aware of a different MLS offering. The interesting twist in our particular case this week was that the listing agent was also the seller. So buyer's agent argued that he was entitled to the 3% since the listing agent signed the contract with the 3% in the disclosure. Question: did this then constitute a separate written agreement between brokers to amend the MLS offering? And in my opinion, no. The listing agent only signed the contract in his capacity as seller and not in his capacity as listing agent. And the buyer's agent did not sign the contract. So to amend the MLS offering, a separate written agreement would have to be signed by both listing and buying broker. We produce these podcasts weekly to help our customers in their business, and we hope they are of value to you. In turn, we'd like to see you at our closing table. Thank you.